official when I see it in the textbook sometime in the near future, and I'm sure it will appear, and then I'll have to stop harping on that. But act educated is the right word.
Direct mail is generally thought of as junk mail?
Correct. Direct mail was one of the 5 major forms of media that we had for 50 years. People receiving envelopes in their mail and using it. So one of the big 5. And amazingly enough, you don't look at mail anymore. And so it is having a tough time to be, it's having a tough time in the digital age. I still want to tell you, I would imagine that most of you are buying some graduation announcements and mailing them out to your family and uncles and friends and people that are going to give you money because you want to mail them something so that it's more formal and it gets their attention. You might, send out some e-bites and some text bites to people. But if your mom and dad are serious about your college graduation, they want to do something for you and they want to have a party or they want to get you to get some money, you've probably gone over to the bookstore and bought a big old pack of mailed invitations or mailed announcements so that you can reap the rewards of why? Because mail still has the effect of getting to people's attention. They hold it in their hand and they have a direct communication with them. It's still a powerful form of media. What do you know?
The first step in the ad process is awareness.
Great. So we know that the 5 steps of the advertising pyramid starts with awareness. We got to get someone to even know we exist before. It's like dating somebody. If you look at somebody and say, oh, I'd like to date that person, and you never announce to them that you're there or that you're interested, the date will never happen. You have to make yourself known. It's like getting a job. If you say, boy, I sure would like to work for that company someday, if the people that do the hiring don't know that you're available and that you have a degree, it ain't going to happen. You got to tell them about it. And advertising is the same way. You got to make people aware of the fact that you're interested and that you're available. And if you don't do that, your advertising is not going to be powerful.
Newspapers or retailers medium?
That's an interesting concept. Newspaper is a retailer's medium. It continues to be a very important place for major retailers to advertise. That's not to say that they're not using other forms of media. Certainly the Dillards of the world, and the JCPenney's and the Home Depots and the Safeways are keeping newspapers alive in 2013 because they buy giant ads. And why? People use them. People pay cash. People buy the stuff that's in the newspaper. Joe.
Using marketing research for creative consumer.
Great. David Ogilvy was one of the guys that, you think of him as a creative guy, but one of the things he said, test, test, test. Never stop testing your advertising. Make sure that you're on the right track, that you're doing the right thing, and that you're resonating with the consumer. And then even after that, test it again to make sure it was the best that you could do. David Ogilvy said that, the great creative Cuba said, test, test, test. And so we use marketing research and advertising research to help us stay on track with the message so that we can have something meaningful. What do you know?
I learned never to all those jumping things.
This is correct. So sometimes interfacing with advertising can be hazardous to your health, right?
Well, another one is the largest room in the universe.
The largest room is room for improvement. I just have to tell you, I know that at some point you've got to take the final exam and you've got to leave. At some point you got to submit the proposal and you got to hope that it's good enough. At some point you got to give the presentation and hope that you hit all the buttons. At some point you got to release the advertising and hope that you're resonating with the consumer. But, as David Ogilvy just said, test, test, test. There's always space to make it better than what you just made it. You can always improve upon it. Don't ever forget that, because we can become complacent in our lives and just do the bare minimum and just get by. You can do all the chapters, summaries, and stick them in your portfolio and then fill them out each week as you need to. Or you can actually learn something and can actually apply yourself to the material that you're doing. You can actually get the creative to be better. You can actually get the resonance with your consumer. You can actually, I'm married, been married for 22 years. The relationship can always get improved. I can do a better job of being a husband. I can do a better job of being a father. I can do a better job of being a teacher. I can do a better job of being an advertising guy. You can always improve, and don't ever forget that. What do I know?
Vacancies are supposed to still be like different forms of advertising, but advertisers have to figure out a way to break through the noise.
Great. That noise and clutter is a problem, especially with the advent of the digital age and the explosion of information that's out there. How do we break through that clutter and that noise to have resonance with our consumer? And part of that is through creativity. And through creativity, we can come up with a way to get people to be excited about this. What do you know?
There's personal and non-personal influences.
Okay, and three non-personal are time, place, and environment. And the three personal influences are culture, social, and the most important of the six is family, and that's the bananas. What do you know?
Advertising doesn't force anyone to do anything, it just gives them
And the fallacy is that advertising corners people into a corner and makes them buy products and services and makes them go to Maze and makes them eat Use Swirl and makes them buy AT&T, and advertising has a big giant stick and it beats you into submission to do what I'm telling you to do because it's on TV or it's on the internet and so therefore you have to do it. That's a fallacy. People make conscious adult decisions about their own life, and they can do that in a way that is the best answer for them. And it might be the best answer at the moment, which may not actually be the best for them personally. You might eat that big giant slice of cake at Claim Jumper. It's 9,000 calories, but at the time when you bought it, it satisfied a need, and that's okay. And because advertising doesn't cause you to do something, you make a conscious decision to do something. What do I know?
Bill Orbeck said that to give them a slice of life.
Right, Bernbach was the guy that invented the reality advertising, if you will, showing people in their everyday business doing what they do, and having, what's great about that is people relate to that, people can see that story, hear that story, relate to that story, and build upon that story to be meaningful.
Primary, secondary, tertiary, and non-users, the four bucket.
What's the biggest group of those people?
Non-users?
Non-users. Most companies have more people that don't use the product than people that do. And so we spend a lot of time trying to convert those non-users into users at whatever level. What advertising and marketing tells us is we should probably concentrate on the primary user and try and clone them and get as many of those people going and not spend so much time on the non-users. Be more efficient with our advertising, more laser beam focused, more niche oriented. What I need to know.
Main goal IMC is to enhance brand.
Okay, the main goal of IMC is to create, maintain, and lead relationships. And so that's the whole purpose of IMC is to build on relationships between consumers and manufacturers, between media and audiences, to have this relationship that is powerful, strong, and meaningful.
The goal of advertising is to create action.
Correct. Top of the three pyramids, and also the goal of advertising. Lucy, what are you doing?
The most common use PR tools is success news release.
News release. We put some facts down on a sheet of paper, and we hand it to somebody. We put it down in an electronic format document, and we email it to the news media. It's the first time they ever even know what's going on, the first time they heard about the AT&T campaign, the first time they heard about a promotion with promotion. It gets a story starter going in their mind. How can we cover this as a form of media, disseminate this information so it might be meaningful to our readers, to our listeners, to our viewers? It's a powerful thing. Andy, what do I need to know?
Magazines have long shelf life, and they're usually passed around, so more than just the buyer sees them.
Great, so we have two numbers, circulation and readership. And we always know that readership is higher than circulation because more people read a magazine once it's purchased than read. Anything?
That's exactly what I was going to say, the circulation. While there's a fragmentation within media.
Great. We have what's called a proliferation of media choices. So we have not dozens, but hundreds, if not thousands of places we can put our advertising down. And we saw that at the National Student Advertising Competition. Some of these teams must have come up with 50 things that that Clinton could do to advertise their brand. Okay? The question is, so there's a bunch of choices, which one's the best? This fragmentation of the media then